just give me an heads up on which technologies we have people sitting here. So how many people working on React? That's a huge audience. How many on Angular? Okay. And other tech stacks? Would you like to name them? That's great. So we have like uh, a full mixture of all the technologies. Now, while doing so much of code in the web, you must have been exploring something for the reusability, right? Because every time you might not like to do the same coding again and again. And has anyone got a chance to integrate something that you have developed in one technology and you would like to shift it to another technology? Anyone? Can we have the mic to them, please? All right.
Actually, I have migrated one module from Java to Node.js.
Okay.
Okay, there was a module which was converting a media like video to images and images to PDF and PPT to also a slideshow of images. There was a module in Java and the server was broken, but I have migrated whole Java code to Node.js
All
using
right.
FFmpeg plugin.
So it's in the same built again in the same technology, right?
No, different technology. It was in Java. I migrated it in Node.js.
And then where did you utilize it?
No need of utilization. Actually, just needed to migrate it.
All right. So any chances, like for example, you have developed something in Angular or you have developed something in React, and now you would like to integrate that into some, for example, a vanilla JS. Or maybe you develop an Angular component and you want it to be integrated in a React application. Okay. Then today, this talk will really help you to figure out one of the solution which you could use while you want to integrate something that is developed in one technology and you would like to ship it directly into another technology. So that will help you with a lot of saving, lot of efforts, cost, and this is what we would see in this talk. Is it? Is it's still not working? It's there. Can I have the remote, please? It's not working. All right, great. Finally, it's working. Okay, so today we would see the topic of the talk would be Angular elements at rescue. But stay assured, there is something for everyone, no matter in which technology you are working. You will still have something to take up home and try this new thing that we will be learning today. So a quick brief introduction of myself. My name is Mukund Ronak, and I work as a senior software developer at smartSense. Along with me, I also have Ronak, who would be helping us with the quick demo on what we would be learning today. Well, let's have a quick overlook on the agenda. So today, we will be exploring a real-life use case that we have just gone through while this 10 years of experience that we had in the industry. And along with that, we would understand the fundamentals of web component, or you can also call them custom elements, and the fundamental of Angular elements. So has anyone until now heard of this term, web components or custom elements? Anyone? A quick liner on that. do you know about that? That's a quick sneak peek onto the picture that we will be just viewing today. All right, so we begin with the use case. Back in 2020, we started jumping into the AI-based solutions where we got the challenge to integrate the AI into chemical industry, where we would be applying it into chemical industry to solve different problems. So a few of the problems were mostly related to the data that they had, and they would try to make this data very quickly searchable because that was taking a huge amount of time. And when you have enormous data, you are a big chemical industry, and you have several thousands of products which you have created for several domains. Just going through the data, it becomes really challenging, and searching the data related to those products, whether it is an employee itself who is trying to help the customers, or the customers themselves searching something on the UIs that you help them with. Well, the data was the first challenge. So if we have a quick search on the structured and the unstructured data that the company possesses, so taking an example of structured data, that would be something that you store about the products in the database directly. And another point would be you would be having several documents, each document telling you a perspective of the product on what are the different details that you need to know about the product before you buy it. Okay, and this is not just it. So while you are browsing the old web apps, the problem that you face there is they are not really customized according to the user who is there on the web page. So we need some personalization, right? Otherwise, it is like the old school static journey that the customers just go through, and they, like, over a period of time, that would completely like bore them, and you lose the retention part. So giving a quick highlights, so two major challenges would be having an efficient search on the product data and the literature. And the second point would be improved customer journeys. So that is what the industry wanted to achieve with the help of AI. So we began with developing the products, and we started with a software that would involve multiple solutions built inside it. So each solution would be targeting a particular problem, and it is trying to improve that user journey and help with that personalization that the user would need in order to go through this different data that they have. Three of them would be like I would like to highlight in this particular talk. Besides that, there are several solutions, but these three would be the major one that we would be discussing today. So we developed three particular solutions. The first one was cognitive search. So rather than a normal search that we use these days, just like the Google, now when you search with keyword, that is very old school. So rather than you going applying several filters, isn't it like amazing if you just tell, help me with some document about this product, and it directly helps you with that product. If you ask about a product which is having several properties, you tell it that help me with this property, value of this property of the product. So for example, give me pH value of paracetamol. And then it directly helps you with that particular answer and the passage. And not just that, since nowadays we trust the AI, of course, better than we did it before. In that time, there was this case that when you bring the answer, we also need the document from where you brought this answer. And that is where the trust started happening. And now since you know that the answer that the AI is replying is not coming from something that it is trying to make it up on its own, you can trust the technology and you can trust the search. So this cognitive search helps you with various quick details. You get the passages, you get the answers directly. Along with the answers, if you click on the passages, you directly get directed to the particular document. Whether it is a document, you get the document quickly open. And if it's a website, you get jumped to the website directly from where it brought the answer. So first solution helped us like a lot. Now we come to the second solution, which is conversational chatbot. So even if we talk about this particular cognitive search, it is still allowing you to just search for quick answers. It does not serve every requirement of the customer, right? When I talk about conversational chatbot, the conversational chatbot will help you in an interactive way. So you come and tell the chatbot, hey, how are you doing? It just replies you in a normal way. You never know whether it is a person next to, in front of you, or it's someone, a bot, giving you the answers. So this search now gets combined with the conversational UI. And now you can not only just ask for particular answers, but you could also ask, help me with the literature of this particular products. And it helps you with all of the details, whatever documents you would like to search. If you would like to search about the chemical nature, the formula, how does the safety measures, what are the safety measures for this particular document, you could look out quickly. Just tell the chatbot, help me with the document, and it helps you with that. Along with that, it is not limited to this. So you get various machine learning and AI help from it. If you spell the particular product incorrectly, doesn't matter. AI will still recognize that you are trying to point to this product, and it helps you with that. So that is how we started building solutions on top of AI. The third one coming up, the product browser. So like you search in Amazon, applying filters from on the left menu, you take this category, help me with the product which has application this, help me with the product which along with this application is a sustainable product. But isn't it tedious, right? You go apply filters one by one. How about giving the product browser directly a query in your natural language? So just tell the product browser that I want product suitable for skin care, or I want products that are that can be used for baby care, and it will directly help you with that. Along with that, if you want to combine the queries with other filters, for example, then you could easily do that. So these three solutions like took a lot of time. You could see it started, the journey started in 2020, and the product kept evolving. So there are, with the increase in the AI, the things, this whatever solutions that we have designed, they would keep transforming, keep evolving, and you help get more and more help with the tools that you are now creating. If I talk about the implementation has not only been the AI part, so there is also business logic that runs on the front end side. Well, until now, all these products looks fascinating, isn't it? Because now you're trying to solve challenges with the AI, and you don't need to use the traditional searches. Your search is personalized. You have a portfolio. You can look out the products directly from the portfolio and the documents that are available for you just by a simple normal query. You could write it down, or you could just do a voice search, and it will just help you with the documents or the data directly with any of these three solutions. Now, something that is like a point of thought here is the amount of energy it has taken time. So let's just understand the business. We took a look on the technical side of it. Let's just understand the business. So the business contains several departments, and we specifically worked for a product in this digitalization department. The digitalization department took up the initiative to solve these various challenges and come up with a software that would just help the various other departments targeting different categories. And these categories, for departments for these categories could just use this software to make the user journey very much easier. But now comes the challenge part. Every of this department is having their own data. Not just that, they have their own websites also. And now, if they come up and continue with these solutions, it means all the users have to be migrated also to this new platform, right? And that is not a simple job if you are like a huge chemical industry with millions of users. Okay, so that is a problem here now. They could not directly start using this software, even they love it so much, because it is like magic for them, that the time, the amount of efforts it saves, the solution are like on next level. So we have some challenges here. The business would not like to spend the same amount of time, effort, and money it has put over years, again, to just implement all of these things in the websites that the departments owe. So that is where the problem started. Everyone loves the solution. The solutions are really great. But then you have a problem. The technology that you have used matters now. The software that you have developed should also be easy to integrate. So for example, here, now if we develop the software, the business challenges that we received were the departments would like to implement some or all of the solutions. So we just discussed a couple of them. They might like to integrate just the chatbot because the chatbot already comes with something that the cognitive search is going to help with. We also have different web stacks being used for each of these websites. So every department has their websites, and these websites are not in, like, all of them are not in React. Some might be using some CMS, some might be using Angular, some might be using Angular JS, and some might be using React JS. Depending on the time the technology used will differ. So now we have like business problem. As a developer, it is okay for us to tell them that you could implement this software in your system, or you could bring the users to this system. But for them, it is not that much easy. And again, there were two ways you could implement the software. One of them would be you use the software, bring the users to the software, and they could use it. The another way would be using the APIs directly. So while developing the software, considering our experience, we already know that it's not necessary that everyone would come to the UI. So that was something that we were already aware of. So we also implemented the API first architecture, where you have a possibility to integrate the APIs directly in your website. But still we have a problem, right? If we have APIs at place, we still need to reconstruct the UI. We need to understand the business logic that was implemented in order to implement all of these three solutions. The AI/ML business logic, that the responses that we get from AI, along with that, the business logic that was implemented on the front end side. So this becomes a challenge now. We have like constraint on budget. We don't want to spend this budget again. We have the time constraint. We want it like, now we have taken so much time. We want it implemented as soon as possible into the different website. They would not like to wait, right? And then we have the efforts at place which were put over for this more than 2 years of effort. What to do now? Now, that is where we got the sneak peek that we have several technologies out there. If we all know micro frontends, that is something like trending right now. We use microservice for a long time. Now we are talking about micro frontends. So we could go with the micro frontends, but then we have a problem, right? We have an application already developed in Angular. Now we would not like to like rewrite the entire software again and make it like micro frontend based. Because understand the thing that this is not simple. When you design a software, you don't know every part of it, how people will start using it. When you are like in question marks already from the beginning, that how people are going to use it, what would be the adoption, how many people are going to adopt it, how can you invest so hard that the product is like coming up with such great features that you could integrate it in any of the websites. Okay, so that is something that did stop us from doing each and every efforts, putting all the efforts from the beginning itself. You first need to understand whether the product is being accepted or not. Well, everything rocked. The products were accepted. Well, that is where we started like figuring out, we started our research and putting our efforts on what could be the possible solution that we could design. And that is where we came up with web components. So web components, let us understand what are web components. So basically, we all have gone through HTML. We know several tags that we use day in, day out in HTML. But what if we have the potential to create our own HTML tags? That would be like amazing, right? If this could help, if we could like in some way convert our components that we have created in Angular application to this particular web components. So think of this simple application. So you have a simple to-do component. And if you want this to-do component to be integrated into websites developed with different technology, no matter it is like CMS like Sitefinity, or you are using AEM, or you use Angular, React, anything. If you know web components, you could start using them to create your own custom tags. And then what you just need to do is just get into the website where you want to add it, just put a script at the top, and you have the access to the element. So if we had this fancy small to-do list, and if we want to have this to-do integrated in different technologies on different web frameworks, what we could do is we could create our own HTML tag just like this. An editable list is what we call that UI, and you could create your own custom tag like this. Now this if we want to understand web components, we need to understand that there are three different technologies that sum up together to build up the web components. So just any quick idea, what are the challenges if you feel you are creating a tag and you are integrated into a particular website? Uh, do you see any challenges? Any challenges that you foresee? It's still on. Any challenges that you foresee? All right. I can just quickly summarize them. So when we started exploring the solutions, there were three challenges. If we go with web component, then the first thing is, if I put my HTML tag there in someone else's website, what if it applies some CSS and my CSS gets overridden? That is going to like disrupt the feature, right? Another problem that would be like, there is also JS that you write in. So anything could happen. They could like get into this component that we have created, and it could be disrupted. Well, that would be the first challenge. Then comes, how do we write? How do we create this web components? In what are the APIs? So those three technologies help together. The first technology, custom element, helps us with the APIs that you need to create a web component. The shadow DOM helps you prevent or secure the HTML tag that you have created. And the third one, templates, gives you a like complementary way, rather than doing the entire component with the help of JavaScript APIs that we used. We could just use a declarative way to create the template. Let's have a quick look into that. So major benefits when we create a web component would be, we get modern browser support. So whenever we use something new, we obviously care about whether all browsers do support this new thing or not. Well, we have modern browser support, and even if some old school browser do not support, we have the polyfills way to achieve this thing there. Then composability is the next benefit. So you could like, the entire UI could be created into smaller fragments, and then you could club out all these smaller fragments that you have created. So in that way, it is like composable. Reusability, of course, we have it now. Since we have the web component, it is irrelevant what technology you have developed the website in. You could just put this tag anywhere. So you could keep reusing these components. And last thing about maintainability, since you have smaller elements, you could assign small teams to each components who could maintain, and the maintenance becomes easier, right? They just have like a look into their components, and you do not need to worry about the entire application. All right, so let's have a quick look into the three parts or three technologies that we'll just look like. First one was custom elements. So this is how a custom elements look like. You have a constructor where you define the necessary initialization part. Then there are some methods. So when you create an HTML tag, just like we use a standard HTML tag, we have attributes, right, where we want to pass the data so that they could adapt according to the attributes. Then we have events on which we want to respond. So if there is something happening inside the HTML element, similarly, if there is something happening inside our custom HTML element, we would like to respond to those events. So this is how the lifecycle looks like. We have different methods. The connected callbacks is triggered when the custom elements gets added into your page. The disconnected callbacks, it is in order to help you with anything you would like to do when it is removed from the page. And if the attributes change, so whenever the attributes that are passed to this HTML tag, if some change happens to that and you would like to respond to this change in the attributes, then you have like a lifecycle method which you can use in order to do that. So a quick lookout to the custom element that we created, the editable list that we saw right now, will simply look like this. Just have like 10 seconds go through into this. So this is all the JavaScript part that I was talking about. So you have like the entire JavaScript written. You create a div, everything with the help of JavaScript. And then you have this HTML tag ready to integrate in your website. So you just use it like this. Once it is ready, you could simply use the editable list. You could pass the attributes. In this one, the title and the item that we want to add, the label for that item, you could pass whatever label you would like to give. The second technology that we discussed was the privacy that we would like to give to our component. So that is what we call shadow DOM. It is something that is inside the DOM, but not the host system can get into this if you do not allow it. So when you create a shadow DOM, inside the document tree, you have like a shadow boundary within which your component gets rendered. And if you render the component inside this boundary, then it is not like you say like query all spans from this document and you will get the span inside this particular web component that we have created. It will not happen. You would need to specifically get into this shadow root, and only then you will start getting the elements that are there inside the custom component. But it depends on us whether we would like to keep this element open or we would like to keep it enclosed. So when you create a shadow DOM, there are two options which you can provide. If you now it cannot manipulate anything. So this is the security part that we need. The third one coming up. So as you see at the end, at the top we create shadow DOM and we keep the mode open. This would mean that we are allowing the host system to query the elements if they want. The last part is the HTML templates. So when we use the HTML templates, well, it helps us to write the entire code in a declarative way. So the component which we were looking previously, we use JavaScript in order to create even a div, applying some styles to that particular div, adding more smaller elements inside that div. So this is all like coding way or the programmatic way of doing this, creating this custom element. But what if we have an easier way to write the same thing? That is what template gives us. So template will help us with like an HTML syntax only. If you see here, we have templates. So this template is in order to create a small element, and then you could use this template to create this custom tag. So in the JS, you could just get this template, and you could use it to create the custom element. This is how the code looks like. Very much easier rather than the previous syntax that we were using. Now we understand the fundamentals. So we understood all these three technologies. If we sum up all these three technologies together, we get what we want. All right. Since we have the time constraint, we won't go with the example. The example is almost the same that we saw in the screen. But we will be having a walkthrough of the Angular demo. So does this mean that the web components that we saw right now, we have an Angular application already there. We have our chatbot. We have our cognitive search already developed in Angular. So again, there is a question mark, right? Do we need to convert all of this into custom component? Do we need to rewrite them? Well, that is where we save some effort. So if we are using Angular, then we have a package available called Angular Elements. If you know Angular Elements, it will easily help you convert the components that you have created inside your Angular application to this web components. Now, since we know that web components are already something that can be used cross-platform, they are platform agnostic. If Angular helps us with some way that we can convert this particular component's cognitive search and the chatbot and the product browser that we created into custom elements, then the things becomes easy for us. So what are Angular elements? Well, in simple terms, Angular element is just components packaged as custom elements. So what we understood now, it helps us to convert the same thing into custom elements. So if now this might be a little new to people who are not working in Angular, but though for those of them who are already working in Angular, they could correlate this. So if you have Angular components, just use this package, use the API mentioned here, create custom element, and you can convert them simply into web components. Not a big deal. Very, very simple. So how does the mapping happen? So the mapping would happen for two things. When we create the component, sometimes we use input attributes in order to accept something that will help us to customize the component. And similarly, we have event emitters, which we use to emit events from the component, right? This is how it gets converted. If you have a simple myInput property, it will get converted into custom element attributes called myInputProp. And if you have an event called myClick, then you simply create a custom event inside the custom element that is going to be created, and the name of that event would be myClick. So this would be how the mapping works. The attributes and the events that you have already in Angular component, they will get simply converted into the custom attributes and the custom events. Well, I think the conceptual understanding is clear for everyone. Any queries until now? Well, okay, then time for the demo. Ronak?
Am I audible to last? Yes? Okay. Yeah, so due to some technical error, I just switched the laptop and I will walk through my code directly into the GitHub. Okay, I have a backup lab created for that. So, as Mukund give us the background about the web component, right? So, in the web component, we have now theoretical understanding how web component, what is web component, how web component work in the background. Okay, so I have already created one Angular application. Okay, and I have already created one component. I will convert that component into the web component. Okay, so let's see there. So here I have one component. It's called editable list. Okay, where just I have created one list. Okay, and I'm adding one new item inside the list. Okay, so and also I have added one button for remove the item. So here you can see there is a button for removing the item. There is a button for adding the item. Okay, and I have here added here one heading. Now, if you see code, I have used input and output decoder in the Angular, if you're already aware. Okay, and if any operation occur by the user, at that time, I'm just emit the value using the to-do list update event emitter. Okay, where I'm just passing the value and the operation name. Here is the add and remove. Now we have component. Now I will convert that component into the web component. Okay. So as Mukund mentioned, we have Angular element package. Okay, which is provided by Angular itself. So I'm just utilizing that package into the application. Okay. So I will go into the main.ts file. Okay. I will comment the modular bootstrap part. Okay. Comment out, and then I will add some new code to create a web component. There I will create an application for injector. Then I will create custom element using Angular element package. Okay. So you have to install that package. After that, you can utilize that. And then I will define that component, editable list component, okay, as a editable list tag. So here I have created one custom tag, which call editable list, okay. And now we have a custom element. Now I will build that package. So there is something which we have to create by ourselves, okay. So in the package, I have added two scripts. One is for building the package, okay. So this command will create a package without hashing, okay. It will not create file name with the hash unique UUID numbers, okay. Why? Because now we want to combine those all files called runtime, polyfill, and main, okay, to one file. It's called editable list component.js file. Okay, so this package, all the file will convert it into the one JS file using cat command. This is the Ubuntu cat command. Okay, and we'll export this file into the directory. It's called web component. So here we can see the one file is generated. Okay. Now we'll use this script file into the simple plain HTML file. Let's move to that file. Okay. So here I have declared my tag. Okay. I have added script file, which is using the source. I have defined that JavaScript file. Okay. With the help of this JavaScript file, I can use this custom element tag, where I can pass a heading, okay, whichever I want to set. And using another script tag, I have just added event listener, okay, whichever output or event emitting doing inside the component that will handle using the simple JavaScript function. So this is the function where whenever we doing any operation of add or remove, that console will be triggered here. Okay. So now let's move to the demo. Okay. So here, if you see the view page source, okay, I have just added script tag in the bottom, and I have used my custom element. And if I run this program, okay, let me start the inspect. Okay, so in to-do list, let's I have a morning meeting, okay. If I enter, it will give me a output event, okay. So this is web component, okay. The Angular component converted into the web component, and we are using that web component inside the simple HTML file. So we can utilize this component in any framework, okay. And also we can see the remove event. So this is the remove action which I have thrown, okay. Now while production, okay, we are facing some challenges. So let's discuss about the challenges. So this is the real experience we face. So if you see, while the package, we are generating same name file in the script, okay. And when we use that file, okay, so at that time we are facing the caching issue, because once I generated the new file, again I have to rename this script file, otherwise it will get from the cache only, okay. To solve this issue, I have just added here query parameter with a random number, okay. So every time it will load a new JS file, okay, from the server. So that issue I have resolved through query param. Now next issue, I am facing a font sizing issue, okay. So previously in the web component, in the Angular component, I have used REM units, okay, for font size. Now, if I integrating this component to different system, okay. So at that time, REM using the root units, right, base units. So if I integrating from different system, my components getting font size showing different, okay. So to overcome this issue, I have just converted my web component into the pixels, okay. So from every system, it will show same component. Now, third issue I face is CSS overlapping. Okay, so in the sum of parent application, they have defined CSS in the element directly. Okay, so to overcome this issue, sometimes we have to in the element we have to write some inline CSS to avoid this type of issues. And the fourth is the size, build size issue. So in our component, in our use case, as Mukund mentioned, we have product browser and cognitive. So, okay. So we are showing the document, PDF document. So at that time, our build size getting too large. It's around 2 MB to 3 MB. So it's taking too much time to load our component in the system. Okay. To overcome this issue, we have find out some solution from the third party only, and we found that the library is supporting iframe level loading. Okay, so instead of converting into the my build size, okay, I have just created another build of my library, and I'm loading that library directly from the iframe. So that I have resolved those issues. Okay, that's it from my side. Thank you. Do you have any questions in the demo? This GitHub URL is openly available, okay? And the link also present on our PPT. So you can follow this.
So if you have any questions, you can ask us now, or you can feel free to reach us anytime on social media or offline here at the venue. Anytime you want to connect with us, we are available. Yeah. And yeah, so for me and Ronak, like this has been the first GDG event. So we thank you all for listening us so patiently. Thank you.